I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Christina Schaefer, Social Media Manager for HAR. I'm on just moderating, and I'm going to be checking the questions. Sean and Taki are both going to be presenting to you. And if you have questions, go ahead and type them into the comments. A lot of the questions that you have, they may answer during their presentation. But I'll be checking the comments, and we will handle all of the questions at the end. We do have some staff that are watching as well, so they may interject and answer your questions along the way too. So we want to get all of your questions answered. To answer a few questions that we had before we got started, yes, this is being recorded. It will be sent to you after this presentation. Give us maybe a day or so to get this to you afterwards. And also we will put it up on HAR's YouTube channel. So Sean and Taki, most people are well aware of who these two gentlemen are. Sean is our director of MLS, and Taki is our HAR's Chief Technology Officer. They're going to be giving you updates as to what they have been doing, ways that we are adapting as far as this pandemic is concerned, the ways that MLS has been adapting, and things that our technology department are creating as well to help you guys through this. Just again, a reminder, we will be taking questions at the end, so just type them in. And a quick plug here, if you have not completed your 2020 census, you can go to 2020census.gov and get that filled out. It's really quick and easy to do. Takes less than 10 minutes, but it took me less than 5. So it's pretty quick and easy to do. So I'm going to go ahead and stop talking. And I know we have some participants still joining, but I want to make sure we get everything done. So Sean, you are up first. Sean Delphine, our director of MLS. If you want to go ahead and share your screen, and we can get started with what you have to share with our members.
All right, thank you, Christine, and welcome and good afternoon to everybody. Before I get into my presentation, I just wanted to remind everyone that HAR is still here to serve you. You know, while our physical offices aren't open, our phone support lines are open. We've extended phone support 7 days a week. That's local MLS QA and member services staff. We've also enabled online chat 7 days a week, so you can ask questions online through the member-only portal. We've moved all of our training and CE courses to online, so it's never been easier to get CE than it is right now. Super Center is still taking orders online, and they will ship items to your home address. Or if you want to order a Super Lockbox online, we have curbside pickup at the HAR central location. And for those of you who may not have heard, we are waiving third quarter MLS fees for all participants who are current on their second quarter. We've actually extended the deadline to pay your second quarter. So as long as you pay second quarter before the start of third quarter, you can still get your third quarter MLS fees waived. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into my presentation. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here. You're gonna need to stop sharing yours, Christina. There we go.
And Sean,
I'll give a little bit of a market update here. I will start by saying that I'm not an economist. I'm not going to be giving anything in the future, right? So nothing looking forward, but what I'm going to show you are some statistics pulled out of the MLS. We're working with the Texas A&M Real Estate Center to generate these weekly statistics. And I know some members will want to get a hold of these as well. This is something we are going to be making available to members in the next couple of weeks. These are, like I mentioned, from the MLS system. And so I'm going to go ahead and jump into these. These really are some statistics that are going to compare what's been going on the last few weeks to the same few weeks last year.
John, just really quick, a few members are saying they're having a hard time hearing you. So if you could just speak up just a tiny bit.
You bet. So let's jump into the market update. So the first slide I'm showing here is in regards to closings. And so you can see this, the timeline starts in January and it goes through April 13th. So these statistics are current as of Monday. Just received these from the A&M Real Estate Center yesterday. So you can see we started off 2020 as a stellar year. We were beating another record-breaking year from 2019. And so we put out our press release for the month of March. So all of the contracts that were pending, seem to be closing. So that pipeline is still showing up as closed listings. So for the entire month of March, we were actually up 8% over 2019. And what you do see at the end of this graph for the last, week or so, is closings are falling down. So over the last 3 weeks, closings are actually down 4% to the same 3 weeks in 2019. Next slide shows pending listings. This slide is not as optimistic as the closings. So you're starting to see, some of that pipeline weaken, right? So pendings for the last 3 weeks are down 37% when we compare that to the same weeks in 2019. New listings, okay? So again, you can see for most of 2020, we're getting more new listings coming on the market than we saw last year at the same time. However, we've seen over the last 3 weeks, new listings are actually down about 28% compared to the same time last year. This is a time of the year when typically you're seeing more new listings come on the market. You're usually seeing an increase. Obviously, the pandemic is affecting that, and so we are starting to see a little bit of a drop off. Some hope for optimism. I was on a webinar a couple of weeks ago with a professor out of Boulder, Colorado, who tracks these kind of statistics really internationally and nationally. And he was looking at some statistics from Italy and Seattle and the UK, who were a little bit in front of us. And he said that they were seeing new listings down over 50%. So I don't know if that's really going to be projected what we will see in the future, but right now we're not at that level of decrease in new listings. Off-market activity seems to be leveling off. Off-market activity would be properties that have been entered into withdrawn, terminated, or expired. So you can see that, when the stay-at-home orders were issued, we did see kind of an increase in that off-market activity, but we are starting to see that flatten out, which I think is good news. Appointments, this is some data we're tracking through showing time. And so you can see that, appointments are down significantly, as to be expected over the last 3 weeks, down 49%, as there's concerns with buyers and sellers on actually entering a property physically. But I have been encouraged to see, all the agents out there that are starting to use live streaming platforms and tools to help do virtual showings. And so while those aren't reflected in the numbers, we are looking, once we launch our live virtual streaming platform that Taki is going to talk about, we'll be able to track those virtual showings as well. And while they're not, physically going to see properties, we are seeing more activity online on HAR.com. So consumers are still looking at properties. They're just not actually going to them. And so while I mentioned earlier that I'm not an economist, so I'm not going to be doing any forecasting, Dr. Ted Jones, the chief economist for Stewart Title, he is an economist, and he is going to be giving a webinar at the same time as we are here today, but he's doing that on April 30th. So if you go to har.com/webinars, just like you registered for this one, you'll be able to register for Ted Jones' economic forecast on April 30th. And I would encourage everyone to attend that. He will be using some of the same statistics that we looked at today, but he'll have more current statistics, and he'll be able to project and forecast what's in the future after the pandemic starts to stop. So that's all I have on in terms of the market update. Are there any questions, Christina, that we need to address at this point?
There are a lot of people asking for a copy of your slides. So if you can provide those to us, we can get those out to all the attendees.
Yeah, we can make those available. And as I mentioned, we're working with the Texas A&M Real Estate Center to be able to produce these in an automated fashion every week. So those are something we'll be able to share with our members.
Very good. Most of the questions they're mostly just thanking you. Most of the questions were about if they can get the slides. There was one question Cindy asked Sean, if you paid your yearly dues already, is there a way to get a refund? So that would be something I think they could contact us about, right?
Well, I failed to mention. So yeah, so when you pay annually, we do have some agents that do pay annually, and they pay from July 1st through June 30th, right? So they're already paid for the second quarter. They will also receive a free quarter of MLS fees. That will be the third quarter. So we will bill, instead of billing them from July, we're going to start billing them from October through June. So they will pay for 3 quarters instead of 4.
Wonderful. Also, there was a question about, will you be tracking statistics for virtual tours once we commence those, with what Taki's going to be discussing as well?
So yes, we will be able to track those virtual showings and virtual open houses that are using HAR's live streaming platform that Taki is going to be talking about. It's a little more difficult for us to track other platforms, so we really don't know who's streaming on Facebook Live or Skype or other platforms. That's not a metric I don't believe we will have access to.
Sure, that makes sense. And a couple people want clarification, since this information is coming from the Texas Real Estate Center. Is this just specific to HAR, or is this statewide information?
The statistics I showed are specifically to our MLS. I will say that they do aggregate data from every MLS in Texas, so they will be putting out same statistics for other major metros. So it'll be interesting once this report is finalized that we can compare to Austin and Dallas, San Antonio, and other comparable markets.
Very good. There's also a question about, once we start receiving the weekly statistics, how will those be distributed?
They'll be online through the member-only portal, likely in the statistics category that we have today, where we put our monthly statistical reports.
Okay, very good. It looks like a lot of the questions are leading into what Taki is going to be discussing, asking about details about virtual open houses and virtual showings. So is there anything else you wanted to share before we give Taki the floor, Sean?
Yeah, I've got one little thing here. Let's see. In regards to some MLS things we've been looking at. I know it's kind of hard to focus on MLS policy when we're in the midst of a pandemic, but this is something that we've been working on for several months, and it's something that we had planned to communicate to members during the month of April and March. However, the pandemic has come along and kind of gotten in the way of some of those communication efforts. So I want to just take a minute to talk about it. It's in regards to the NAR Clear Cooperation Policy. This is a policy that was adopted by the NAR Board of Directors in November, overwhelmingly supported by the NAR Board of Directors, and every realtor-owned MLS must adopt this policy by May 1st of 2020. Basically, what the policy says is an encouraging cooperation amongst MLS participants. In other words, if you're an MLS subscriber, you're expected to share your listings so that other agents would share their listings with you. And so I'm going to just pull up the policy. It basically says that within 1 business day of marketing a property, that the property must be submitted to the MLS. So if you put a sign in the yard, if you do a social media post or a flyer, any kind of communication outside of your brokerage, that's considered advertising. That would kick in the policy and require the listing agent to put that into the MLS system. The idea being, if you're working with a buyer and you're driving around a neighborhood and you see a coming soon sign, the expectation is that you would be able to look in the MLS and find that listing as well. So in our case, we realize that there are times when an agent will, get a listing, they want to put the sign in the yard right away, but they're not really ready to go to the MLS, okay? And so what we've done is we're developing a coming soon status. So we've been working with the advisory group, over the course of several policy meetings to develop this particular policy. And this would allow an agent that's not ready to go full on into the MLS as active and be distributed all over the internet. They would use the coming soon status. And so these coming soon listings would not be available on har.com. Showings are not allowed during the coming soon status. The expectation is that if they are available to show, then they should be available for other participants to see, right? The whole idea is that these listings are in the MLS and available to other participants. They wouldn't be distributed to Zillow, Realtor.com, or any other portals or IDX websites. They would be included in the matrix search. So again, as I mentioned, participants would be able to see those listings. They'd be able to email those out of matrix. There would be a time limitation of 14 days. So once you put it in coming soon, you have 14 days to either make it active, or the system will automatically convert it to withdrawn after 14 days until the listing agent is ready to then make it active. And days on market does not count during those 14 days. So you would put it in once it goes active. That's when days on market starts counting.
Very good.
So I'm sure there's probably going to be a few questions on this. I'll stop here because I know we're all excited to see some of the tools that Taki is creating in regards to the live streaming platform to help our members continue working in a safe environment.
Very good. I did take a peek over at Facebook to see, since we are streaming there, we have about 200 members watching there as well. They are happy about the coming soon status. And I see we have some staff answering questions over there about different metrics that they're asking if we're going to track. There was a question about, are we going to have a class about coming soon? This will just be added into the matrix classes that we currently have. Is that correct?
That's correct. I mean, there's really not enough content to make a full class. I mean, this is, 10 minutes inside of an existing class will be adequate. There's going to be plenty of documentation that we're putting together that'll be shared on the matrix sign-on screen. And it's pretty simple workflow, just like you're used to adding a new listing, except there's going to be a place where you can indicate that it is coming soon. So, look for that information in the coming weeks.
Very good. Quick question from Ronald. Are there minimum photo requirements for coming soon?
There are not. That is optional. You can add photos, but you're not required to.
Would, Michael Clapp is asking, would the HAR 400 form still need to be completed?
Yeah, so Form 300, that's a good question. So yes, we've modified the HAR Form 300. So if the listing is not within the MLS within 3 days, that's what that form is for currently, right? Mm-hmm. But if you advertise that listing, okay, like as I mentioned, through a yard sign or a social media post, you have 1 day to get that into the MLS. So we've actually amended that form to make it clear to the seller, if they opt out of listing their property in the MLS, if it is publicly marketed, the listing broker is obligated by MLS rules to then put that into the MLS, okay? TR, Texas Realtors, has also modified the listing agreement. You can find the new listing agreement in the HAR Forms Manager, and I'm sure they're going to be updating it in zip forms shortly if it's not already there. And that has language now that informs the seller that if they choose to not put the listing in the MLS and the listing is publicly marketed, then it must be put into the MLS by that participant. So again, just really informing the seller of the repercussions of public marketing if they choose not to put it in the MLS. So again, the whole basis of this rule is if it's marketed to the public, it should be available for agents in the MLS.
Okay, very good. So one more quick question before we go ahead and let Taki take the floor. Will the data input sheets be updated?
They will be updated as needed, yes. We're in the process of reviewing those, and whatever changes we need to make will certainly be put there. We're not really adding any new fields, okay? This is just a new status. So, the same status field that contains active, your pending, sold, withdrawn, etc., will now have a new status for coming soon. So in that top left-hand part of your search screen in Matrix where you choose the status, there'll be a new one for coming soon in terms of searching.
Excellent. Thank you, Sean. And we have your email address up on the screen as well. So if anybody is needing that and want to reach out to Sean directly, you can do so. I'm going to go ahead and give Taki the floor. Taki is HAR's Chief Technology Officer. Sorry, I was giving you a new title there, Taki. and he's going to discuss the things that he and his team have been working on that I think our members are going to really like.
Good afternoon. I hope everybody can hear me well. So first of all, thank you so much, Christina, for giving me an opportunity, and welcome everyone to the webinar. I'm really excited about this opportunity to create something that can help our members. Always the focus has been, as far as the technology goes, how we can actually develop software or solutions that can help our members, whether it's productivity, lead generation. So this is really a remarkable, because it's both. It is a productivity tool, but is definitely something which you will see that will turn into a lead generation and really engaging users who will be going on har.com. Like Sean said, we are seeing increased traffic. Users have now a lot of time, so they are online, and home shopping is one of the activities that that mostly a lot of people love to do, and HAR is the website of choice. So I'm gonna start with sharing my screen real quickly and dive into share with you all what we've been up to. All right. So anything I'll share with you, it's new to all of us. We are trying to learn this. This is going to be exciting on how do we take this technology, perfect it. And I will assure you from my experience, when tools are given to practitioners, we end up actually tweaking it, making it better. So it takes just few little short time, but then you get a system which really works well. All right, so let's get in. And again, please feel free to send me any feedback to key@har.com. And of course, you will have an opportunity to become a beta tester as well, and I'll talk to you about that at the end. So let's talk about virtual open house. Okay, so 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 let's look at it. Where would you find it? And this is, again, you are getting a sneak preview to that, all right? So it's not available to anyone except the people that are here and some of the people we presented earlier on. So you can actually go there right now to virtual open house inside and search it, and you can and see how it works. Mind you, you cannot use that, meaning at this point, you don't have the app to do an open house. Okay, so you will need a companion, the HAR app. There's no different app. It's going to be HAR app, but it's only going to be available to people who will be doing beta testing. So if you are one of those people who say, look, I would like to try the new technology, see how that works, share my feedback with HR, you feel free to do that. Otherwise, this is only for beta. But you guys are free to look at this tool, but at the same time, just wanted to let you know, if you do not have an app, then you cannot benefit from or you will not be able to do the virtual open house. So we'll go through that. So we have developed some guidelines, okay, of these virtual tours. What should be the length of that? So right now, what we are setting it up at the maximum 30 minutes for virtual tours, right? And so the idea is that you do a virtual tour 30 minutes, and right after 30 minutes, you tell people who are watching that, look, I'm available. If you have any question, feel free to call me. So use that as an opportunity for them to engage with you and do that. And then you can do another open house after. So 30 minutes, this is our recommendation. You do a 30-minute open house and leave half an hour for other people to ask questions and all of that, and also to give you the break. And then you do another open house for another 30 minutes. So you can do 2 open houses per day per property, okay? And so this gets into the 2 virtual, limit 2 virtual open houses per property per day. And ideally, you want to start about a minute before you you do it, so your guests are not waiting. And again, start the tour from the outside, make sure Wi-Fi is, connectivity is there, and I'll show you some technical requirements as well. and then make sure everything is unlocked, lights are turned on, all those basic things you do anyways in a regular open house. So you go in, there you will see in the events, there will be a button, say create event. You click on event, it will prompt you to put an address for a property. You put that in, and here it will automatically pick the property, brings in short description, which is the public remarks. Fill that in. You select the start time and end time, and you are done. All right. So, well, you created an open house, a virtual open house, but then the thing is how do I promote that virtual open house? So again, there is a promote button on the top, which when you click on that, it will allow you to get nice graphics. Okay. Because what we want to do is not only give you the tool, but give you a ways to promote it. So you can go in, you can take an image, which is like a post, a square, or a story. You can pick that and then move on to, we provide you a lot of colors. So pick the color which you like that goes with that. And then and wherever you want to promote it, you can do that. For stories, you want to put it on Instagram, you can use one of these images and go forward. Here it is. Where these selection options are, you pick the color you like, and then you share on social media. You can download if you want to do an Instagram, and also add it on your own website, where we give you a URL, plus you give you a code that you can embed. Okay. And so once that is done, there is a button here where you can actually also view how does the consumer actually see that on HAR.com. So here is an example of it being displayed on HAR.com. You see there will be a very clear box here which will be presented to the user. And again, just to kind of deep into this, how we are using this box is, so this, for the virtual open house, we will show a countdown. And like any event, which is like an online event, we give people an option to put their email and phone number, and we'll notify them 15 minutes before the event starts. All right, so we built a system which notifies them, but then as soon as you press that you're ready to live cast, we also distribute it to the users. But you would know exactly how many people are signed up for that, and this is a lead capture for you. Okay, so this is a new lead capture as an opportunity we are creating more for our members. And again, this is the detailed page of the open house, which says you are invited to a virtual open house, and it have a countdown that is there. And so the minute you click on that, hey, I'm going live, the same page will refresh and it will bring in the video. Just like if you have looked at like a Facebook event or any event, the video would start playing, right? So when the video is playing, the user have options to, so they have your contact information here. They have, they are looking at the property detail, and they have a way to ask you questions. Because what we want to do this, and we believe that this will be a new way how realtors will offer to conduct open houses. Okay, and I think most of us agree that this will be a trend which will continue after this corona virus we are dealing with. So this will be a new trend, which will be a very convenient way for users to kind of look at and come to open houses with the comfort of their home. And again, they can make it full screen, look at the whole thing. And this is where they are asking the questions. And when they put the questions in, they are kind of surfacing on your screen. This is, I'm showing you, I'll discuss this more in the detail, but this is, you're looking at how it's going to be displayed on your screen, where you are looking at how many people are watching and what are the questions which are coming. So while you're going through, so one of the things we want you to do is just continue your tour and then answer the questions at the end. So that way you may be done with 15 minutes of the open house, but then you have enough time to, hey, let me show you the kitchen, let me show you the cool feature of the house. And so that gives you an opportunity to do that. We'll discuss that. So again, let's suppose I come to an open house and it was done already. So we say, hey, uh, you come here. So we tell you when is the upcoming ones. So you see when is the upcoming events are. But one other thing we do, which is, would you like to watch a recorded one? All right. So good thing is this, these are recorded. We'll keep them for 30 days. Okay. So if the person wanted to fill out the form, which is again a lead capture opportunity, uh, and they can get the video of the open house you conducted. But if they have to fill out the form in order to do that. So again, we are thinking about how they can actually, you can provide that. And again, that recording is available. You can provide to your client or somebody else who wanted to see it. So for example, you can post it on social media, say, hey, I just conducted an open house. It was great. By the way, if you like to watch a recording of that open house, click on this link and they can come to this page and fill out the form. And again, use that as a way for users to kind of give their contact information to you, and you can provide them a recorded video. All right. So now let's look at how does the agent actually use the Open House app. So again, it's not a separate app. It's a part of your HAR app. You will have a button there which will have which will be under agent tools, and which will say events virtual open house, and you can go in there. So before starting a virtual open house, there's technical requirements. We kind of let you know ahead of time. So minimum requirements, LTE, cell connection is required, or strong Wi-Fi connectivity. You just wanted to make sure some areas, like in my house, for example, some areas have a good signal, some areas really doesn't have good signal. So just know that okay, if I'm getting a good connectivity overall or not. And especially if you're going in the backyard, coming inside, just note that. And again, I think LTE connection, which most of us have, it should kind of work well with that. Okay. So when you're looking at, so again, no app is needed. You will just update your HAR app and you will have it accept those people who will be on our beta testing platform, who will be helping us with the beta test. And again, we're going to be for iPhone and Android, both will have that. And we recommend it's going to be only vertical, not a landscape. And partly is really, first of all, it's very difficult if I have a phone, I can just hold it like this and not have a problem, compared to when I do like this, I don't want to get hurt, and so it's just better, it's more safer for our members. And again, and most of them now, phone factor is something which is very popular, that everybody is producing even movies in the form factor which is designed for phone. So you come to events just like this. You can also add an event through the mobile app as well. So you don't have to go to the desktop to do that. Inside the event, you can go in and you go in. So let's suppose you have created an event, and then you click on, say, okay, I'm ready to kind of live cast. Okay. So cool thing is this, you come to this particular one, tells you the property, tells you what time it is, right? And you said, okay, ready to go. You click on this, then you come to this particular one. It says that, okay, you're not live yet. What it does, it just shows you that you got a good signal, you are connected properly, so you wanted to make sure that is. And when you click on that, right away what it says that you will be live in 30 seconds. We tried the 30 seconds first, and then 30 seconds is a very long time. So we now have to change that to 10 seconds, okay? So it's just in 10 seconds, you will have a countdown, all right? And what it will do, if you notice this, right away, it will send to all the people who have been on the notification list, that all of them going to get an email say, hey, you need to get on live now. And they can click on their phone. If they have mobile app, it's going to be a push notification, which will go through the mobile app. All right. And again, I'm live now. So you have a very clear indicator right there that says you're live. Okay. You are looking at that 25 people are watching it or attendees, and you have an idea also of how much time is left. And this is the bar which actually gives you all that information. You can flip the camera to yourself, for example, if you just want to say hello, good morning, or good afternoon, whatever it is. And you can also mute it. So, we have kind of been trying to do many things. Some of these are, what if you get a phone call while you're in the middle of it? What does it do? Does it lose connectivity? What does the user see? So we are handling all these type of different situations. What if you lost your connectivity, right? So you can resume that. You can even pause the video and say, look, let me just pause it. For example, there's something you wanted to just take a few minutes before you come down to or go outside or open the door or put a password, whatever it is, you have that option to mute and stop the video or pause the video. And again, as I mentioned to you, you're looking at this, questions are coming. But again, if this is interruption for you, you can just press this button and say, look, I'm just going to see the question at the end. I just don't want to pop up in my face. It's going to slide up and down. It's like Instagram or Periscope, other type of systems. So it's no different, it's the same. And again, when it's done, so you can always click on this button and say done. So it will say end. So you can actually say, okay, I want to end it. And it says live streaming is off, done, it's all good. And again, so you have three things, and these will be the data you can download. All the people who have requested to get notifications, you can see them. You can see the people who ask questions. You will have all the questions available to you. And then you will have attendees as well. Attendees are people who are, let's suppose I'm an HAR, I have an HAR account, which we have about 800,000 users, okay, who have HAR accounts. Okay, if you are one of those people, you are signed in, we autofill that form. If you're a realtor, and looking at it, we autofill. So if you are logged into HAR, that form to fill in for the questions is already filled and it can be submitted. And in that case, if you have it and you have put a photo, we can show you the photo. We can show you the name, who it is, and when they ask the question. So all these things are going to be available. All right. So I'm going to end on this note here and probably address any questions there are, and then move on to the second part, which is completely separate, which is the 3D tours. So is that okay, Christina, or you want me to continue? Whatever you prefer.
Yeah, we do have a lot of questions that have popped up, so it might be a good time to address some of those.
I think one thing, Keith, if I can jump in, there seems to be some confusion regarding live streaming versus recorded video. Okay, and so everything Key is talking about is an actual live streaming event where you're at the property at the time in real time showing potential clients, just as if you were at a traditional open house and they were walking in.
Yep.
It is recorded for use later, or if you have a YouTube video or any kind of recorded video or a walkthrough, you can upload those today. Okay, that's not a live video, it's a recorded video. So you can upload those through the HR.com member only portal, and they will be with a logo on HR.com that says video. So, just want to distinguish between recorded video and live streaming, which is what he's talking about here.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought this up, Sean. So one of the things is this, look, we have the consumers and they like HR, but consumer have expectation from a website. If you tell them it's a virtual open house, it have to be a virtual open house. You cannot just say, well, can we use a video for that? Well, it's not. So we promote it just like any other, it's just like an open house. Open house is a real estate marketing activity, just like virtual open houses are. Okay, so it's just a new dynamic, the new technology, new way we are doing it. But you will notice that it will increase how many people actually watch and engage with you on a virtual open house.
Okay, I'm going to give you a couple just rapid fire questions to Key so we can keep moving. So there was a question about, is there a way to remove the number of people watching? Can the agent have control over that?
I don't, so the
So
problem is, why
on
would you want to remove it? I mean, first of all, you want people to come to. It's just like, well, can I have an open house and not have anybody come to open house? Well, don't have an open house. That's the easier way to do that. So
right. Okay. So another a lot of requests to be able to do vertical and horizontal. Several people specifically mentioned they use a gimbal and would like to do it horizontally. So that is a
this is
request.
a good. I think I think if that is something which our members think it's we should support, we can do that. Okay. Right now, not in the first version, but we can do that.
Okay. Another quick question. Who sees the questions? Only the agent or everybody?
Only the agent. So
Only.
if I ask a question as a consumer, I can see my own question, and you as a realtor can see all the questions which are coming from different users. And you will have, it's not there, but you will see what's the name of the user is. So you will say it's coming from Tiki, the other one is coming from Sean, other is from Christina. So all these questions will flow right on your screen, and you can do that.
Very good. A couple of more quick questions before we move on to the next portion. There's questions about hosting open houses for other agents or other people in your office. Is that going to be an option?
It is a very important option. I'm 100% in favor of that. This is something, so it's very simple for us to do that. So I'm gonna talk to our technology advisory group, and of course Sean is also MLS advisory group as well. But what we will do is a simple way. When you create an open house, technology wise, it's very simple. Okay, it's not a big deal. Okay, when you create an open house, what it will do is it will say, if it's not your listing, it will say you need to get approval for this open house from the listing agent. Okay, and it will give you option, what would you like to do? Because we have members information, so it will say, okay, text the listing agent for permission, or email them, and you can click it. It will be a message which will be constructed, says, hey, you know, as to Shad Bogni, for example, it will come to, hey, Shad, Tim Surratt like to host this open house. Would that be okay? You say approve, and then that's it. So that's the sort of a simple workflow I want to do. And that will allow most of the agents who like to do hosted open house and meet that need. And I'm in big favor of that. And between now and while the app goes live, we can actually tweak that and support that. But I think it's a very important function, and should be our members should have that option.
Okay, great. A lot of our members are really happy. They're happy with this session. They're happy with what you're saying. And one member said, I'm happy to hear, if our members want it, we'll do it. So they're happy to hear that.
Absolutely.
The other biggest questions, which I'm sure you're going to be getting to anyway, are how do we become a beta tester? And they email you, right? We shared that in the chat.
Email support@har.com.
Support@har.com. Sorry, I'll update that.
This is my recommendation. This is my recommendation about that. If you want to be a beta tester, meaning you want to test this weekend, okay, then sign up for beta tester. Otherwise, just wait for the next, week. We will make it available for everyone. So up to you. We love beta testers because they help us get better, and that helps all our members. So we thank them and appreciate that. So if you want to do that, send an email to support@har.com. Otherwise, just, because it does take us time to put people, set them up on the beta tester list and all of that. And we got a lot of people already. But again, if you're an active user, you wanted to really try that, absolutely most welcome to do that.
Okay, very good. And the other big question I'm seeing both on Facebook and on the Zoom chat is, when will this be available after beta, post beta?
So before I came to this meeting, we have pushed it to the App Store already. We have a link available for Android beta testing. Okay. We will send out the email after this later, before 5 o'clock today, to all the beta testers that uh, uh, that expect an email from. Um, we have already put many people on a beta testing, so we're using for iPhone users. It's called Test Flight, is a program that does that, and for Android user, we are just giving a link to download the app and they can set that up. It's very simple, much simpler. I Apple is a little bit complicated. They have to, even the test version have to be approved by Apple. So we have done that. We have submitted that already, and we are just waiting for them. And normally we get a response back within a day.
And then with Android?
Android will be available. That's a very, very simple link for Android. Yeah.
All right, very good. So we only have about 15 minutes left. So if you want to share the next portion, Taki, that would be great.
Let's do it. Okay, perfect. So let's talk about 3D tours. All right. So look, users are looking for ways to get a better look at the property and what they can do. So again, we looked at this, that okay, we said, okay, can we look at how the 3D tours are and highlight them better? That's the phase one. Second was, what if they have already 3D tours or 3D photos, but give them a way to create a very good gallery on har.com that they can do. They don't have to have a cost of hosting, because companies which do these 3D tours, not only you have to buy their cameras and all their stuff, but they also charge you on a monthly for hosting charges. So we want to reduce the cost for our members. So that's why we have this 3D. And of course, it has more lead generation opportunities. Phase 3 is 3D on a media uploader app, and it is very, very cool thing. And I'll go into a little bit detail of this. So let's just talk about a phase 1, which is highlight 3D tours. So again, we looked at 3D tours. So we talk, what is a 3D tour? And so we look at the data. Data said that people have Vimeo, people have YouTube, and then they have slideshows, and some people have Matterport type of solutions. And so we kind of looked at this. So if you have a property which is, for example, have a beautiful slideshow done by TK Images and all of that, but it's not a 3D. So this will not get that label on the site which says this is a 3D, okay? Because user cannot, 3D is very immersive experience where you're panning, where you're zooming, you're going forward, you're going from one room to another. I mean, it's really as close to, being there. And then Tour Factory is the same way. Most of these are photos with the slideshow, some music, and things like this. If you have a tour which has been uploaded on Zillow have this 3D tour. So this is a 3D. So if you have that, that is going to show up. And again, if you have a Matterport, which is probably the much more expensive option, but it's a good option, which is then automatically on your listings, what we will do is we will show you this button, which is a 3D button. So if you have Matterport, if you have the 3D from Zillow one, you will see the 3D button. And this is on throughout the website. We have a 3D button. So that's been visible there. All right. Same thing in the responsive when you're doing mobile, whether it's a mobile app or just using a Safari, we also have this 3D tour. So that was the phase 1 of that, okay, take the tours which are there, highlight it, make it bets, make it available for consumers. And believe me, according to Zillow statistics, they saw 190% increase in traffic for listings which have the 360 or a 3D tour. So again, we just put that up. That was about 2 weeks ago where we kind of started this, and it's been there since Monday last week. So when we talk about 3D, so normally pictures are like this. There are 3 circles in these type of pictures, and so these are how the pictures look like. So these are called 360. So if you have a camera which produces that, whether it's the Theta, Ricoh Theta, or other cameras, you will have images like that. And then once you have the images like that, you know what you do. You come to har.com, and by the way, just a good news that we released that today. So you are going to be the first people testing that and using that. It's available to you today. And please use it. Let us know. It's very simple to find. Just when you go there, type 3D tours, and it should be there. You can find it. When you go in there, you just go in and just click on add photos. You pick the photos, you put the name. What you do is, because you can connect the rooms, for example, one room to another, so you want to give the room or area a name. So that way you can say, hey, you're in a kitchen, or you're going to backyard or front yard. All that stuff is available. Then once you are there, then this is the area where once you uploaded the photos, this is the area where you actually connect the rooms. And this is really, we try to make it very simple for members. And by the way, if it's not very simple, please let us know. We'll try to make it very simple. Okay, we think it's very simple. Okay, so what it is, when you are looking at it, you're just clicking on it. When you click on it, you can actually put in and select the photo you wanted to connect to it. And once you do this, they will show like this. So you will see in this photo have two rooms connected to that. So this could be like, for example, a garage. This could be a staircase, you know, whatever it is, you can do this. Of course, you know, these are, you can kind of engage with that, zoom up and down, and do all that good stuff. And you always have a button where you can actually click on it and actually look at how the gallery looks like. And it is going to be like this, where you can go move around and do this. And you have option of, when you're putting the photos in, you can say, is it a floor 1, floor 2? You can do that. And this is how it's going to be. So this is the 3D gallery of HAR. And again, as I mentioned to you, you may have a gallery on a site like Zillow or others, but look, we believe in your listing, your lead. So when you click on this Shadbagni, it's going to go, the lead going to go to Shadbagni. It's not going to go to 5 agents and you pick which agent and premium agents and others. We have simple as that. It's your listing, your lead. So it goes to you. And again, these tours are going to be there for life of the listing. These are these are large files, but I think it adds so much to the property that we feel like that, hey, this is the data we wanted to have it. So because make your property, enhance your property significantly.
So I might just jump in to answer a few questions. We're talking about, you know, if they have their own photos, do they take them? Can they hire somebody? Yeah. Either one, right? So you can hire a photographer to do this for you if they've got the right cameras.
Yes.
If you have a 3D camera, you can shoot them yourself.
Yeah.
And the app Taki was mentioning that'll stitch them together on your behalf. We do have, he's recommending the Ricoh Beta V, excuse me. And we do have, we've been working on a member discount. We're going to do a bulk buy and give it to members at cost. And so rather than $379, which is the retail cost, we'll be able to provide that to members at $319. We're working on that order right now. We don't have them in stock yet, but I would think in the next week or two, we'll be able to put out an announcement on when those will be available through the Super Center.
Perfect. So just to let you know, I had a call yesterday with TK Images, and I told her that this is the tool because she's a premium provider for photography in Houston, and Julie, she's a great person to work with. She gives quality photos, and she and I discussed that what she wanted to do is for her clients and her members is if she will take the photos and she will go and upload those to our gallery. So she was talking about, as a provider, can I get a way to upload these and do that? and I said we will glad to accommodate that. So I'm in discussion with her. I have a call today with her. And again, it will be, we're using her. It's not exclusive or anything. We're just using her as somebody we know who is who's doing the photography in Houston. But there will be everybody else that will be welcome as well once we develop a system. So what the system will do is the provider can log in, and when they can log in, they can actually put any listing which they wanted to put the photos in, and and then they can actually just go to this gallery and build a gallery on behalf of the realtors. So for example, you don't want to buy a camera. You say, I'm just going to have TK Images do that. You can do that if you want to. But so this comes into the phase 3 of this. Phase 3 is the most exciting one. All right. So phase 3 of this is we have an app which is not launched yet. It is really an awesome app. Okay, what it does right now, what it does is it have so you go and you see all your listing, but what it does is it's do these things. Is that you can have a 3D, you can add photos to your listing, you can add video to your listing, you can add audio to your listing. Okay, all these media options are available there. And the beauty of this is when you use the app, it directly goes inside Matrix. So Sean and I work very closely, and his team. I mean, really, this is like nothing you will find in the country anywhere. So we have a complete app that allows you to manage your photos within Matrix. Okay, you can order them. And by the way, I know a lot of you complain about description, photo description. Well, we just launched a tool inside a Matrix where you can just go in and put description for everyone right away. It's very simple. And again, it came out as a feedback from members like you. So we had done that improvement. We went back into this app with the idea, how can we make it mobile that you can manage all these, so you can arrange everything, so you can do that. But this new thing we are adding here, which is called 3D, which is called 3D tours. And when you click on the 3D tours, what it is a combination. So what it is, we are working with Rico as a company, and then joining that with the HAR technology or HAR app, which is this media uploader app. So what you need is a camera. You got a monopod to hold this, and a camera to do this.
Okay.
So
yeah. Question to Key. It looks like you're about to talk about the camera, but members are asking, do they have to use this camera, or can they use other cameras as well?
Okay, so this camera, just to let you know, you can use any camera you want, but then you will take a route of uploading photos, right? Which we support. So I showed on phase 2 where you can take the photos and upload and do that. So you are completely free. You are not restricted to that at all, right? Where this comes in, this is an app. So this company, manufacturer, supports, they provide API for developers like us to build a solution that can seamlessly work and allow people to take photos and bring them into the app, make it available. So it does a lot of magic, okay, behind the scene. And I'm going to show you some of this, how easy it is. So what it is this camera, and so we are building our system in the HAR. We are using the software technology to connect it with the Rico camera. And what it is, when you do that, you connect your phone, which is the HAR app, will, hey, connect with my camera. And when you connect with your camera, what you will do, you will set the camera, turn it on, have it ready. You will actually put it on to your monopod and set it up where you are ready to kind of take it. And then what you do, you get out of the way and just use HAR app, set it the view where you want to do, and you click it and it will do that. So this is sort of now getting into where you are seeing that. So you position the camera wherever you want it. So let's suppose you put that in the middle of the room, you go outside the room, but from the app, you can actually see you can see what's in the what view you want, like a starting point. Then it says 10 seconds ready to go. You say, please processing, photo is being processed, and boom, photo is there. So if you see this, it just did this beautiful photo. You put in the name and you put the description, and you got you are done with that. And then what you can do is continue this, add as many as you want. And what it's doing it is, as you are finishing those up, then you will have a button which says, I'm ready now, I want to publish. Okay, when you press the button, right away, your listing is updated. We have added a link inside Matrix. That is done. So all that is happening with this, with this solution. So I'm going to end this and let any question and answers if you have.
That's great, Taki. Thank you so much for sharing all of this with us. I do want to let everyone know, a little shameless plug here, that Taki will be coming on Member Focus Monday, this Monday at 9 a.m. So this coming Monday at 9 a.m. So if any of you are wanting to hear more, have even more questions for Taki, be sure to tune in for that. Taki, one big question that I've seen a couple times is, how much is this going to cost the members?
So camera, like Sean mentioned to you, we are trying to get the negotiated rate for that, right? So and they have told us that you cannot publish those pricing. Those pricing are strictly members only area where those will be. So I think it's like a $317 is the one time.
Right.
You know, it can really not only enhance your listing, but it could be really a cost saving for you as well. If you have listings and you want to use that, it's a great tool to do. Use that. And we asked them, what is how long realtors where this camera become obsolete? They said about 18 months, okay, that you can really use that technology, doesn't get old. And I think personally, 360 tours in its current form are good enough, where people, you can get like these are all 4K, right? It can even go better and all of that. But really, I think for most of the user, this will be a very decent solution that will be available. There is no cost as far as HAR is concerned, but this is going to be, some of these things are for platinum subscription. However, right now during this period, we have got to make it available for anyone. But these are the type of the services which falls under platinum. So just wanted to make that point.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And just a message that I got from Nathan Goebel. He said that he put a link for the camera in Matrix. So if anybody was looking for that link to the Ricoh camera, you should be able to see that in Matrix.
Awesome.
Jeffrey asked a quick question: would 360 tours take the place of the normal photos?
No. So one thing is this, absolutely. One thing is, which I'm looking into the design of the new website, is 360 tours are far advanced and better than the regular photos. So that should get a precedence. So we will kind of look at, but not right now. Right now, what you will see, there's going to have a 3D, that it have a 3D tour. But very soon you will see that if you have a 3D, your detail page will be designed differently. It will highlight those imagery. Maybe when you come there, it starts rotating in the room. So rather than you just getting a still image, you're seeing some interactivity automatically. So we definitely love to do that. So. I think you're mute.
I did. I made the mistake.
Okay.
So there's some more specific questions. People asking the distinction between 3D, 360, Matterport. It's a lot of terminology that maybe we're not used to. So
Yeah.
maybe we could provide some sort of distinction there.
Yeah, I'll let Sean answer that. Go ahead, Sean.
What was the question, Christina?
Just looking for distinction between 3D, 360, Matterport. It's just a lot of terminology I think our members haven't quite grasped.
It really is. It really is. I would break it down this way. Look, you have video, okay? That's your typical YouTube video walkthroughs, okay? You know, that would be uploaded as a video. Then you've got virtual tours, which traditionally have been, they could be slideshows, they could kind of, they could be just with some music in the background. So those are kind of your old school virtual tours, I guess, if you will. When we talk about 3D, 360, those are kind of used interchangeably, and those are really interactive tours so that a consumer can navigate through the property on their own. They can zoom in and out. They're high definition photos. You can pan left and right and up and down. So these are the immersive technology that Key's talking about and was alluding to. So that's really your 3D, 360. I use those interchangeably in terms of virtual tours. So just really distinguishing between a 3D 360 virtual tour and your traditional slideshow type virtual tour, where it's just images sliding across your screen.
Very good. And there was a question about signs. We will have virtual open house signs available in our Supercenter as well, and you can shop the Supercenter online.
Yeah, that was a great idea we received during the meeting, that how they can actually put those signs outside, but I had a rider on them which says that these are virtual open house.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and we have a disclaimer on that as well, which tells them that, look, this is not a physical open house, it's a virtual open house.
Very good. Thank you, Sean and Taki, for your time. I know our members will continue to have questions, and you have our email addresses. You can reach out to us with those questions. I do want to remind everyone that tomorrow we do have another virtual event scheduled. We are going to have HAR's President and CEO, Bob Hale, and we are going to have industry leader Stefan Swanepoel on. They're going to be having a really good discussion about how our business is changing amidst coronavirus that I encourage you all to sign up for if you haven't yet. You can take a look at all of the upcoming virtual events on har.com/webinars. So again, har.com/webinars is where you can sign up for these events. Sean, Taki, again, thank you so much. Our members are saying nothing but great things in the comments. They enjoyed this.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thanks for hosting,
Very good.
Christine. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you. Bye-bye.